Hi, I'm NewsTaco editor Sara Inés Calderón, and this is your weekly roundup. My top pick this week was a story by O'Hell's Knot entitled, I Don't Want to Be the Model Minority for the American Dream. In it, she discusses how she's often handed these expectations that there's no reason why other people who are poor, who are immigrants, shouldn't be able to achieve what she has. She's earned a master's degree, but she makes the point that just because she had better circumstances, it doesn't mean that her case applies to everyone. People really enjoyed that story this week, and I suggest you check it out. In the cultural realm, my favorite, we had an interesting mix of stories this week, but they were all worth your time, I promise you. First, it was a story I wrote about how 2012 is like the 40th anniversary of the pivotal Chicano novel Bless Me Ultima. So check that one out and read the book if you haven't. Then there was a scandal in Tucson, Arizona, when apparently after the Mexican American Studies program was shut down, staff in the schools were removing books pertinent to the Mexican American Studies program. However, there were reports that also Shakespeare's The Tempest and Thoreau works were also removed from the classroom. So it's an interesting read. Then we had a story by Victor Landa who writes about a woman in New Mexico who's suing after she was told she couldn't speak Spanish to people coming to apply for licenses and other things at the DMV in New Mexico. And finally, there was a congressional letter requesting that Government Accountability Office launch an investigation into sexual abuse of immigrants at federal detention centers that was sparked in part by a Frontline documentary by journalist Maria Hinojosa. Interesting turn of events. Check that out. Then in politics, we had another weird mix of stuff. We had a story by Amalia Deloney about why Latinos should care about SOPA, Stop Online Privacy Act. Check it out. Then we had a post about how California congressional candidate Jose Hernandez, formerly an astronaut, blacked out his website to protest SOPA. Then we had an interesting piece about how Latinos can honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream by registering to vote and voting. And we had a piece by Victor Landa explaining or trying to explain the current state of affairs with Texas redistricting and the lawsuit in the Supreme Court and all that stuff. Then I wrote a story about how the SB 1070 Joe Arpaio politics in Arizona has paved the way for a new crop of Latino political leadership, and they're running for office in 2012. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. We had another story I wrote which interviewed a Texas congressman who's now actively seeking the Latino vote in order to be elected. Finally, a story by Dustin Mendis about how even though Mexican immigration is slowing, immigration from Asia is growing. So it's going to change the dynamic of what we're all kind of experiencing now, which is this Latinization, as they say, of the United States. So I'm Sara Inés Calderón, your NewsTaco editor. Thanks so much for sticking with us another week. Have a good weekend.